What's up, guys? My name is Malcolm Tibbs. I'm 26 years old and I've been doing self-improvement for about 8 years now. I was able to retire myself and set up passive income at the age of 24 using some of my benefits given to me as a veteran. Now, I want to share with you guys some of the lessons that I've learned in all of my years when it comes to women, okay? Now, the biggest one, and if you take nothing away from this video, let it be this. If you're not doing well with women, it's just because you suck, okay? You have not gotten enough repetitions when it comes to approaching and seducing, gaming, bringing women home, right? All of that, you just haven't done it enough. And the reason why you haven't done it, there's only going to be one reason, okay? There's going to be 1,000 excuses, but all of those excuses are going to boil down to one reason: you are afraid, okay? Now, you are afraid of approaching, seducing, having sex with women, starting relationships, maybe even starting up a family. All of that sounds scary to you because there was a woman in your life at a very young age when you were very impressionable who taught you that being masculine, being male, wanting to have sex, wanting to showing your attraction towards women, somebody taught you that those things were bad. Most likely it came from a woman. And she most likely taught you those things, not because she hates you, not because she knew it was going to result in you struggling. She was trying to help you, but she herself was traumatized by a man. Unfortunately, that man who made her feel the need to teach you how to behave in a way that just isn't attractive, that man was the same man who turned her on and made her panties wet. And she wanted you to be the complete opposite of him because he hurt her. So she made you into a man who unfortunately doesn't make panties wet. And that's okay. Okay. Every boy the majority of boys have gone through a phase where they were afraid to approach women and they were not attractive to women. Okay. And they all got through it. Now, you have a couple things working to your advantage. The older you get, the more attractive you're going to become, right? Second, the more repetitions you put in, the more attractive and the better you will get at being attractive, okay? Being attractive, seducing, influencing a person, that is a skill. And it is something that you can gain. But you are only going to develop that skill through repetition, okay? Now, when you are going out and you're trying to get this girlfriend and to, find a woman who wants to have sex with you, legitimately really enjoys having sex with you, the best way to make that happen fast is to get comfortable with rejection. You need to try to get rejected as fast as possible in every interaction. And when you actually do this, if you apply this lesson, you will start to behave boldly around women. When you give a woman a bold statement or a bold proposition, she will always respond equally as bold. Okay? Unless she is head over heels attracted to you and she's nervous. And that's a good thing. But if you're afraid of, if you're tired of getting put into the friend zone, if you're tired of girls saying, oh my gosh, you'd be such a good boyfriend while they complain about their current boyfriend to you, right? You need to be more bold. Okay? You need to stop being afraid of rejection. And it is quite literally just something you become desensitized to. Like seeing cars, or hearing yelling, or going on a roller coaster, right? Playing a sport, performing on stage. You do the things over and over and over again, and by the 100th time, you're no longer afraid. Quite literally, you are in this position. Yes, it's because you suck, but it's really just because you haven't put in the reps, because you have this idea in your mind that somebody gave you, and it prevents you from going out and doing the most basic natural thing that a man does, which is having sex with a woman. In fact, if there's any distinction between man and woman, is going to be the man is the opposite end of the woman when we are talking about sex. Outside of the context of sex, men and women are essentially equals, right? But when it comes down to sex, the difference is important. Okay? Now, with all that said, practically, the only advice that I could give you, the actual way that you apply that lesson, is You go out and you get outside the house and you put yourself into situations where you can be rejected by women. Okay? That means you, yourself, behind the camera, right, watching this video, you have to go out and you have to manufacture situations in which you can be rejected. What you're going to find is that you're not going to get rejected too much, right? The actual manufacturing of the situation, going up to the girl and saying, give me your number, I want to take you out to go get coffee, right? Actually putting yourself in that position, oftentimes the girl's going to be like, finally, oh my gosh, a real man. I've been waiting for this. Nobody ever comes up to me. Nobody ever approaches me. Thank God you've done so, right? When you put yourself in the situation to get rejected and you do so boldly, right? You don't timidly like, hey, maybe I could, have your phone number and like we can get coffee sometime, right? When you do it like a man, hey, give me your phone number. I want to take you out for coffee. I really like the way you look, right? You're going to find that you are going to get a much better return, or like, it's really just a numbers game. You're going to find that much more women are going to be interested in that kind of an approach, right? Now, I did just mention it is a numbers game, and that is another big lesson, right? There is no way in hell that you, whoever you are, or me for that matter, right? You can't make every woman attracted to you. So don't try. And if there's one woman in particular that you want to be attracted to you and you haven't already put yourself in a position to get rejected by her, well, then you need to drop all attachment to the idea that she's going to be attracted in you, because she's probably not. You probably have already extinguished that fuse for her to, actually put you in a category of mateable, right? Somebody who she wants to fuck. She probably already sees you as a friend at this point, or just somebody in her life, but not the person who she wants to fuck. Okay? So recognize you're playing a numbers game, and there are about 4 billion women out there. Billion. All right? That's quite a few women. Even if you mess up the first 3 billion times, which, right, just think about that. That's kind of absurd. Imagine you got rejected 3 billion times. You'd still have a billion women who have no idea who you are and see you as a potential mate. Okay? You have ample opportunity. And here's the thing. You don't only get one shot, right? If you want another shot with a woman, you just have to disappear for about 2 or 3 months and then show up out of the blue, but present yourself differently. Okay? Give her a little bit of time to just forget about you, for all of the associations that she's made in her mind about you, for those are all just vanished because she's moved on and life happens, and then show back up. Not only are you a little bit familiar, but you kind of seem new and improved and upgraded. Okay, you've spiked my interest. Now, I will say, when you do get good at getting women, you're going to end up, almost by nature, you're going to develop this rule that says it's better to find new women than it is to go back and try to pursue a woman who already turned you down or who isn't interested, right? And the beautiful part on top of that too, new women are turning 18 every day, right? So you're never going to run out of opportunities to try to get better. And I promise you, for me, I think I wish I was, tracking my stats a lot better. But I probably had about 80 women who ghosted me on Hinge, right? Before I started to get really good at setting up dates, right? Just the process of, like, not only was I able to send all the likes and, eventually I started getting people to match with me, and and that's all aside of the women who, matched me first, liked my photos, right? But eventually, right, getting all these women to match with me, I figured out how to get them out to a date. I got them invested enough in the conversation to want to go out and hang out. And then it was maybe like, I can't even say that. By the time you get them out on a date, there's a pretty good shot you're going to be able to have sex with them, right? Not that that's the only thing that you're worried about, but, it's a big thing that you probably do care about. But for me, I was able to consistently get these women to come back home and have sex with me after about 6 or 7 dates, right? So, I would, get the girl on a date and maybe she wanted to come home and maybe she wasn't the most attractive, but, I was hungry. So it was whatever. And then other times it was like, damn, I just went on 3 or 4 dates and all of them said they want to go for a second one and maybe we should take things slow. And, they're not that kind of girl anymore. Or they have these rules or they just don't go to other places with, they'll come up with all these excuses, right? After about 7 or 8 of those, you figure out pretty quick, oh, let me not say this thing and instead let me say it like this. And once you figure out a way that works once, you can just copy and paste to the next interaction, right? And then, you do get a little robotic. There is a chance that you will become like a little bit robotic, right? And you will just continue really just down a routine of like, I'm going to say this line and you're going to respond like this. And then I'm going to wait 2 seconds and then I'm going to ask you for the number. And then we're going to go on the date and I'm going to show you this really cool tree and I'm going to tell you the story about it. And then I'm going to say, hey, maybe we can go back home and catch a movie. There's a really cool one that just came out on Netflix. And you'll figure out a routine. And the point is not to just figure out really, like, again, this is a numbers game. You only need to land the sale once. Okay, you only need to be attractive once to get the girlfriend. Okay, so take that as it is, right? What I'm trying to suggest to you is that the odds are much more in your favor than you realize. And that one person, that one woman who just didn't have the best time with one man and then left a very impressionable kind of judgment on you growing up, right? She was wrong. She was wrong. And it is okay to be masculine. It is okay to want sex. It's okay to only want sex, right? That doesn't make you a bad man. It's okay. There are women out there who only want sex from you. All right? The odds are they're in your favor, okay? The odds are in your favor by a large degree. All you have to do is go out and put in the reps, and it's going to suck the first 10 times. Maybe the first 100 times, right? For me, I had 80 women who ghosted me before I started to feel pretty confident getting women out on a date. And even to this day, if I were to, I have a girlfriend, so I'm not really that concerned when it comes to dating, right? But if I were to hop on Hinge, I guarantee you, by the end of the week, I could have 3 or 4 dates for the weekend, right? And of those 3 or 4 dates, could probably get about 75% of them to come home with me and sleep with me. Right. And it feels really good to be able to say that. It feels great because when I was 17 and I was watching a shit ton of porn and all I wanted to do was be a man and figure out how to get the girls like the guys in the videos were getting, right? That version of me, he could have never said that. And I'm telling you, the only difference between him and me, 1 time, 2 reps. The older you get, the more attractive you are, merely because you have more experience and more resources, right? So as long as you're doing something remotely correct in the game of life, with age, you are going to get better. It's like almost like having a bottle of wine. You are going to get better with time, okay? At least for a man. On top of that, if you put in the reps, you are going to get better. And you have much more control over that side of the equation. You can do 100 reps today. Okay, you don't need to spread it across an entire year. You can do 100 reps today. You can put on your shoes, put on a nice little fit, go to the mall, and start working game. Okay, and you're going to figure out, oh, wait, when a girl sees me talk to another girl right in front of her and then get blown out of the water and reject it, she's more likely to reject me too, right? It kind of looks like I'm just going around trying to be like a phone number bandit, right? And you'll learn that. But until you actually do it, that's not something you're going to think about, right? There are certain lessons that they're intuitive. They don't need to be said, but you learn them through experience, right? It's an issue of socialization, right? I'm going to go ahead and wrap the video up because we're at about 14 minutes. Chances are a lot of people aren't even listening at this point. So, I mean, if you're still here, you really understand and you really feel like what I'm saying resonates with you. It would mean a lot to me if you could hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. Give me some feedback. Let me know, if anything I said actually really stood out or if it actually made a lot of sense for you, right? I want to be able to speak more on that in the next video, okay? Like, comment, subscribe, and share this with a friend. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Good luck. And stick to it.